are medical, and are repeatedly bombarded with sciencey sounding claims and stories. But as you will see, we get our information from the very people who have repeatedly demonstrated themselves to be incapable of reading, interpreting, and bearing reliable witness to the scientific evidence. Before we get started, let me map out the territory. Firstly, we will look at what it means to do an experiment, to see the results with your own eyes, and judge whether they fit with a given theory, or whether an alternative is more compelling. You may find these early steps childish and patronizing. The examples are certainly refreshingly absurd, but they have all been promoted credulously and with great authority in the mainstream media. We will look at the attraction of sciencey sounding stories about our bodies and the confusion they can cause. Then we will move on to homeopathy, not because it's important or dangerous, it's not, but because it is the perfect model for teaching evidence-based medicine. Homeopathy pills are, after all, empty little sugar pills, which seem to work, and so they embody everything you need to know about fair tests of a treatment, and how we can be misled into thinking that any intervention is more effective than it really is. You will learn all there is to know about how to do a trial properly, and how to spot a bad one. Hiding in the background is the placebo effect, probably the most fascinating and misunderstood aspect of human healing, which goes far beyond a mere sugar pill. It is counterintuitive, it is strange, it is the true story of mind-body healing, and it is far more interesting than any made-up nonsense about therapeutic quantum energy patterns. We will review the evidence on its power, and you will draw your own conclusions. Then we move on to the bigger fish. Nutritionists are alternative therapists, but have somehow managed to brand themselves as men and women of science. Their errors are much more interesting than those of the homeopaths, because they have a grain of real science to them, and that makes them not only more interesting, but also more dangerous, because the real threat from cranks is not that their customers might die. There is the odd case, although it seems crass to harp on about them, but that they systematically undermine the public's understanding of the very nature of evidence. We will see the rhetorical sleights of hand and amateurish errors that have led to you being repeatedly misled about food and nutrition, and how this new industry acts as a distraction from the genuine lifestyle risk factors for ill health, as well as its more subtle but equally alarming impact on the way we see ourselves and our bodies, specifically in the widespread move to medicalize social and political problems, to conceive of them in a reductionist biomedical framework, and peddle commodifiable solutions, particularly in the form of pills and faddish diets. I will show you evidence that a vanguard of startling wrongness is entering British universities, alongside genuine academic research into nutrition. This is also the section where you will find the nation's favourite doctor, Gillian McKeith, PhD. Then we apply these same tools to proper medicine and see the tricks used by the pharmaceutical industry to pull the wool over the eyes of doctors and patients. Next, we will examine how the media promote the public misunderstanding of science, their single-minded passion for pointless non-stories, and their basic misunderstandings of statistics and evidence, which illustrate the very core of why we do science, to prevent ourselves from being misled by our own atomized experiences and prejudices. Finally, in the part of the book I find most worrying, we will see how people in positions of great power, who should know better, still commit basic errors with grave consequences. And we will see how the media's cynical distortion of evidence in two specific health scares reached